Hello, everyone, and welcome to another edition of Taking Over. I am OLED Ed Fries, and I am going to be joined by the natural astridpizarro. Astrid, how you doing today?
Feeling a little sniffles, but I'm doing okay. How are you?
We've been having that cold here in New England for about 6 weeks now, so it's been fun. But yeah, no. Tonight was an episode of NXT. As Sean Cena says, I didn't know tonight's episode was taped. I believe next week's is taped also. Yes, both this week and next week's episodes were taped on Wednesday of last week. The results have been out there. I am fully up to date with everything that's going to happen for the rest of the year because I've already made all the promotional stuff I need to make for the rest of the year as far as NXT is concerned. I don't have to make any more graphics for NXT until 2024. It's fantastic. But no. It is Triple H is being generous this year with the time off for all the talent. So all of the main roster talent are now officially, I think there might be a house show left tonight or tomorrow night. And then talent is off until I believe the next live show is day one. Yeah. I think next week's Raw is going to be a best of. I think the SmackDown that same week is going to be a best of the year. And then we are going to be going ahead and having Day One and New Year's Evil are both going to be the first live shows of 2024 because of the first 2 days of 2024. We also have our friends Bobby Munson saying, hello, my friends. How are you both doing today? Happy Taking Over Tuesday to you both. Happy Taking Over Tuesday to you as well, Bobby. It would have been great if you had played my video package on the Twitters today, but it's okay. It's okay. I played it before the show because I liked it because I added music to it this week. We also have Sean Cena and our local establishment wishing us Merry Christmas, Merry Christmas,
Merry
holiday.
Christmas.
Celebrate. If you don't, Happy Monday next week. Enjoy the Monday off for everybody because I think every country gives you that day off. So I'll enjoy it.
Mm.
Oh, you did play it. Well, you need to tag me then because I didn't get any tags for it this week. So
Mm.
thank you for letting me know, Bobby. We have our friend Barry Monkey in the chat. And Barry, I know you were excited for next week's main event. Eddie Thorpe versus Dijak inside NXT Underground. You called it, my friend. Congratulations. You called it, and now you get it. NXT Underground, no rope nonsense for Barry Monkey, especially to finish out the WWE NXT calendar year. He's going to be very excited. He says also, I think on Wednesday next week, AEW have a 10-minute show to bet for Dynamite. I didn't say it. I agree, but I didn't. We have our friend Andre saying happy non-denominational holiday greeting. Yes,
oh gosh,
enjoy your
I gotta show him how to spell it. Come on, Andre.
And also, hello to my wrestling friends, and hello to you, Andre. Andre's getting ready to gear up for the big week that's coming for them because January 4th, Wrestle Kingdom is back. And Andre is going to be having a field day with his tag team partner, Mel, as they go ahead and cover all the wonderful things from Wrestle Kingdom. I don't even know what's on the card for Wrestle Kingdom, and I know I kind of want to watch it. Why? Because it's Wrestle Kingdom, and you kind of always want to watch Wrestle Kingdom. I think Daniel Bryan's on the card for that show, if I remember correctly.
And this is my favorite comment of the night. I just want to frame it. Thank you, Bobby. I appreciate you for this comment.
You know, if y'all don't tag me, I'm not going to be checking the socials. Just so we're clear.
Oh, come on.
I don't often check the socials. So and then we have December 29th for Stardom's big show. So yeah, all kinds of good stuff. And we got Mel Collins is in here. Mel Ball. You are definitely going to enjoy, unlike the sarcasm I said for Barry Monkey earlier, you are going to enjoy next week's main event as Eddie Thorpe is back in the main event. 2 main events for Eddie Thorpe in the year 2023 on NXT. First time was against Gable Steveson, and now he's main eventing with Dijak inside NXT Underground. Barry Monkey says, I hate the underground matches. Worst wrestling idea since Von Wagner. Von Wagner. And Melball is excited as expected. But we have to get through this week's show before we can go ahead to get to next week's show. And so NXT started pretty hot tonight. Tiffany Stratton taking on Fallon Henley. The battle of the top shelf. That was what was going to be on the graphic, and I decided against it because I didn't think it was appropriate. But based on what they're having their match for New Year's Evil, I should have done it because that's what it's going to be called when they have the New Year's Evil match. Using the promo Tiffany cut on Twitter today. Ash, what did you think of the women going off in the first match tonight?
It was a fun match. I knew it was. I don't want to say it was too short, but we know why it was kind of in a way short, knowing that they're gonna hit the rematch happening soon. Plus, it's nice to see Fallon winning. Especially against Tiffany of all people. I didn't like the post attack. I will say that right now. I don't like her being thrown away with the trash and the mop and everything. But you know what I want for a graphic? This is what you should do. Put Tiffany just standing up and to put a shelf and then Fallon sitting on top of it like Elf on a shelf kind of thing. There you go.
All right, I'll work on it for next week's show.
I'm like, too bad it doesn't rhyme like Fallon on a shelf, but it's still. I think it will be funny.
Tiff puts Fallon on the tippy top shelf.
But no, it's a fun match. I kind of figured like this was only like a way to give us a preview towards the match when it was happening later, so I was not expecting it to be too long or too great or too much to highlight. But I say that Fallon is so smooth in the ring right now. She has improved so much. There was I think on 2 occasions at that in the match that she reversed Tiffany such a way that I was just like, I love how it looks, because she was like throwing shots at her in the corner in the turnbuckle, and then Tiffany just grabs her and the way she just spins around and hits her down, and even when she was doing the screwdriver pinfall that she reversed that as well, and she did it so well and so smoothly and so quickly done that I was like, how does she do it? It was really great to see that happen and see her growth in there. But I don't know if I'm excited to watch the match because I was hoping for like a falls count anywhere type of match. I'm not ready to see Fallon in like in any kind of outfit or anything like that to make herself look like a servant to Tiffany anytime soon. So I'm not looking forward to that part.
For those that missed it, Tiffany Stratton did go ahead and put out a thing on Twitter. I don't think it was on the show. I think it was only on Twitter, that the match that they're going to have at New Year's Eve, to count this off, is whoever wins the other is their servant for, I think it's 30 days, if I saw it correctly.
Well, Tiffany said in the promo when she like challenged her, it's like basically if I win, then you'll be my servant, but she didn't say for how long, I believe.
It's typically 30 days. I would expect it to be 30 days, 90 days, something like that. It's going to be fun either way. Apparently, Mel has her own Eddie Thorpe on the local indie scene. We'll be excited to hear about that on Friday on Ladies Wrestling Showcase, if there's a Ladies Wrestling Showcase this Friday.
Maybe.
To be determined. Yeah, I agree. I thought this match was really short, but again, it was short for the right reasons. It was short because it's building to something else. It was a roll-up pin to continue a story. And the segment is nice because the segment is elongated. It's not just a 3-minute match to start the show. There's another 3 minutes tacked onto this segment for Tiffany going ahead and going off on Fallon. And yes, I'm not one for the mop. I think the mop, by the way, the mop is way worse than the trash. Because I'm all for throwing random, like, colored water on me with, like, a bunch of just random trash. Like, I'll be okay. I'll take that spot. But there's no way in hell that anybody's putting a mop in my face. Like, no. Because mops are just inherently dirty. Even if they're perfectly clean and brand new, they just feel inherently dirty. We have Andre saying, I think Tiffany Stratton has become a really... I do too. Tiffany has... The entire NXT women's division has come, light years in this year. And I want to say, it's funny. We were talking a year ago about the shock and awe that was Mandy Rose being released. Because those that forget, it was just over a year ago that Mandy got released, and this would have probably been our first taking over after the release. We had heard the rumblings the night before when Roxanne had won the championship, and then I think this would have been the first or second show pending that release. If you would have told me that the women's division would be in this good of shape a year from the forever champion that was Mandy Rose, no, I'm never going to forget about my forever champion and Mandy Rose. I'd have called you a liar. The steps that Tiffany Stratton has taken in the past year, the steps that Fallon Henley has taken, the steps that Kiana James has taken, adding in people like Blair Davenport, adding in people like Thea Hale taking gigantic steps forward over the course, not even the course of the year, the course of the last 6 months of the year. Thea has come light years from where she was before. This division is getting better and better and better as it goes. And there's only so much room for so much talent. And now we're seeing the next crop of girls who need to take that next step. Kalani Jordan, Lola Vice, Elektra Lopez, Ariana Grace, and Izzy Dane. That's that next 5. Those are the 5 I'm putting my eyes on for this year. I want to see where those girls go from where they are now to where they are this time next year. Andre says, Mandy. That's a Simpsons reference for anybody who missed that. It's not just a Mandy. It's a Simpsons reference. So it's not as weird as it sounds. And Brian says, I agree with you. That mop had probably been used to mop up poor Vaughn's... No, that's not nice. That's not nice, Barry. No, KLR is not the forever champion. No. It's Mandy Rose, the forever champion. It's not Athena. It's not Athena.
Wait.
It's not Athena, just so we're clear. Even though she's down with the wrestling club, it's not Athena. Yes, I was going to get back to this as we got there. No, it doesn't. I don't think Mickie James ever felt like this. And you got to remember, there are 4 different iterations of... When you talk about Mickie James, there are 4 iterations of Mickie James that you have to talk about. Like, Psycho Stalker is the beginning of... Well, I'm sorry. Psycho Stalker is the first time I saw her. But then after seeing Psycho Stalker, I had to go back and find Alexis Lurie working over an Impact when she was working with Raven and CM Punk over an Impact. And then the stuff that she did on the side with that, which is weird. And then you have the Psycho Stalker with Trish Stratus. And then you have the Fat Mickey phase where you have her wrestling with Michelle McCool and all that. And then you have Hardcore Country. And then you've had a couple iterations of versions of Hardcore Country since then. But those are the four main versions of Mickie James. And even Hardcore Country feels completely different from what Fallon's doing. Fallon feels like that, blue-collar bar-maid kind of feeling. She's country in a completely different way. So I really feel like that there's a big difference between the country characters that the two of them are portraying. And by the way, country characters are not new, and they've all been different. Because hell, Cameron Grimes in TNA had a very different country character over there. I mean, the country characters. Remember Jacy and Festus? I mean, we've had some bad country characters in movies before. But yeah, no. I mean, I see the idea that you're going with. Yes, I mean, I love Mickie James singing too.
What's a CD? No, I'm kidding. I just wanted to see what I would get from your reaction.
Barry Monkey agrees about Tiffany, that she's come a long way. He says Heavy Metal is the forever champion, local Edmonton edition. Heavy Metal is the forever champion, Wish.com Edmonton version. Yeah, I mean, we've already spent 15 minutes talking about Tiffany. I feel like we can go ahead and move on to the next. We have Trick Mello backstage, and Mello apologizes for hitting him with the title, and then he's like, you know what? Trick's like, you know what? Did you see Ilja attack you? He's like, no, I didn't see him. He's the only guy who's hit me that hard. He's the only guy who's really hit me that hard. And I'm like, whatever, Mello, I don't believe you. And then Mello pipes up and he's like, hey, how about we make this a triple threat match? And Trick's rightly like, the fuck are you talking about, Mello? No, I'm not doing that. And then Mello goes even more crazy. And he's like, it doesn't matter which one of us wins the championship as long as one of us has the title. And Trick's like, no. When you won those titles, you won them by yourself. You went out there on your own and did it. He's like, at New Year's Evil, I'm going to be the one to go out there and do it. It's going to be me going out there. And I'm like, good for you, Trick. Like, Mello's gone done lost it.
Mello. What can we say about Mello at this point? I think he's in the Lulo University at this point, because that's who I'm gonna put him at for the moment. Why? I love how Trick doesn't fall for it. He goes but why would I make it a 3-way? Like, I already have it 1-on-1. And it's like, no, because it doesn't matter who wins it. It's like, no, but I want to win it, not you. And I love how reasonable that sounds for him. And he reacted so quickly too. He didn't fall for it either. When he went 3-way, he went, that's not good for me. Excuse me. I want my spot fair and square. Where did you come from? And it's just like that moment of him, like when he stared at Mello, like, huh? What you mean 3-way?
Barry Monkey, poor Mello, just trying to help his best friend. No, Mello's trying to help himself.
Yeah.
I almost, when you said Delulu, I almost expected that guy on TikTok, the Jesus Christ, I'm on a bike guy, to come popping out of the screen and go, triple threat match. Jesus Christ, I'm on a bike.
No, he's Delulu.
No, that kind of dude. Mello is not money. No, Mello is not money. Mello is him. Not the devil. Not the AEW devil, AEW. Fuck you guys. No, not a chance in hell. He's not even winning against Kevin Owens next week, let alone winning the tournament. He's not even winning against Kevin. I was shocked he got past Grayson Waller, to be honest with you. I thought he went out there to lose to Grayson Waller. However, though, I can't wait for the Mello versus Logan Paul match. Because after seeing that promo, I have to see that match at some point in the near future. I can't wait for that match.
Only if Mello wins. If he doesn't, then I don't want to see it.
You don't want to see your favorite Puerto Rican wrestler get the W over Carmelo Hayes?
No.
We got Andre saying, trick to the top. Yes, trick to the top. Whoop that trick indeed. But no, this craziness that Carmelo Hayes has slides right into Ilja Draugnov heading to the ring. And when we come back, by the way, I love this week because it's not live. They're just able to cut right to the things they need to cut to. No bullshit scenes in between where they have these random like segments in between. Can we, if that's the case, can I have NXT taped every week then? Because if I don't have to have the first bullshit every week, I'd be happy.
But I don't want all the spoilers though.
I know I don't want the spoilers either, but I mean, geez, it was so nice to just have a fluid show for once.
Mm-hmm.
But Ilja comes out to the ring and he says he's not sure how he got caught in the Trick Mellow saga, which made me think of Twilight. Andre says, damn, now I'm gonna go watch the Hustle and Flow. No, you don't gotta watch Hustle and Flow, you just gotta go ahead and listen to this right here. Hopefully it doesn't get us demonetized. Kicked off. But before he can get too much in, he also says that he feels like he's in a bad bromance movie. Which I thought was really funny. Again, funny Ilja doesn't come out often enough, and I really like it. Unfortunately, he is interrupted by, in my notes I have Raj as opposed to Ridge, but Ridge Holland comes out through the crowd, and Ilja's utterly confused, as is the smaller than usual attended crowd from the NXT show tonight. And Ridge comes out and says he's back in NXT and he's here to prove himself, to find himself, to prove that he can do the things he needs to do. Because his entire career has been 1 step forward, 10 steps back. And you know what? He's right. Think about it. He was going to get pushed against Adam Cole in the Undisputed Era. He hurt his ankle. He was going to get a push as part of the McAfee group against the Undisputed Era because he hurt himself in the segment with the Undisputed Era. And he hurt his knee. He then goes ahead and finally gets over all the injury bugs, gets to the main rosters, having a fun run with, the Brawling Brutes. And he has that terrible accident with Big E Langston. Or Big E, as people call him now. I don't know why I called him Langston. I don't know why I remembered that randomly just now. But where he accidentally hurt Big E. And thankfully, Big E is fine. Thankfully, Big E is living a wonderful life right now. He's not quite in the ring, but at least he's walking around. He's unhindered from the injury. Everything's okay. Now, that did a lot of harm to Ridge Holland as he's had some mental health issues because of it. A lot of fans who don't understand how the wrestling business works and accidents happen blamed him for what happened to Big E. And yes, he's the one who did the move. It's his quote-unquote fault. But at the same time, everybody goes into the ring knowing that things can happen. It wasn't a dangerous spot. It wasn't a crazy spot. It just didn't go the way it was supposed to go. And Big E has come out and said it's not Ridge's fault, and he has no ill will towards Ridge, as the whole New Day has. The whole New Day's been there for Ridge. But WWE's decided to roll with that whole thing, and that's going to be an interesting thing to see as we talk about the rest of the show. He also says accident after injury, injury after accident. Ashley, what do you think of Ridge Holland here with Ilja Draugnov?
No, I like this promo. Like you said, I like going back in the way he is and reflecting on it. And I like how people end up going back to NXT to like prove themselves or like better themselves. Like, I need that moment, I go to NXT. And I like seeing that, especially this year more than anything. And it's been one of those like great crossovers, and I'm glad it's happening this year, especially now with Triple H and Shawn being in charge. It feel like it's gonna keep happening more often, and I really like that. But it's just thinking about the injuries and the accidents, and this is not my cup of tea in that aspect, because we know it's an angle, obviously, but at the same time, I feel bad for Rich because I know that some people will take it too seriously, and at the same time, he's gonna keep getting that hate from, oh, you hurt Biggie and now you hurt Dragunov, and you're like an unsafe worker, things like that. And he already mentioned, like you said, about the mental health issues. So I was like, I know that it's not gonna be good tonight, and it's probably gonna get even worse next week if anything happens, like that continues that. and it just like that's the part that it makes me like uncomfortable because I know people are gonna say comments to it, and it's not gonna be good for him in that aspect. So just like thinking of him overall, it's what makes me uncomfortable to it. I don't like it. I really don't. I wouldn't have done this spot particularly with Rich involved. It wasn't. I wasn't a fan of it.
Yeah, and we'll get to more what happens later on as we get there. But I like the idea of what they're setting up here. I like, as long as it's well done, and so far so good on the well done. It wasn't done in a nasty way. They've made it look like it's an accident. They've really done a very good job with the way Ridge reacted. Very, very human, very nicely. That I'm excited to see where it goes, only for the fact that we know it's an angle because we've been told it's an angle. And moreover, WWE was more than happy to just sit out on it and just let us see it. We all know that when really bad things happen in the WWE, they tend to find something, anything to go back to. They don't typically end the show the way they did. So I'd be willing to bet dollars to pesos this is absolutely an accident, and it'll be nice to see. And in response to this, you want to copy you want NXT to copy Impact being taped every week? I agree with you, Ed. Copy the best. Here's what I want. I want them to do weekly tapings, so that the episode gets taped on like a Monday or a Sunday. So they just have the talent come in every Sunday or every Monday and they tape it. So we don't have to worry about too long for spoilers getting out. And every week is a taped episode. But they can make it flow better. Because I don't like the whole, we leave to somebody coming to the ring. But first, we have a promo video from these idiots when we come back from the commercial break. I liked not having that this week. Otherwise, no, we don't copy anything Impact does. We want NXT to succeed. Not be the little NXT that could. We want NXT to succeed. I like taking small shots at Impact. You would think I hate Impact the way I talk about them. I love Impact. I think Impact's great. I can't wait for TNA to come back in January to be TNA again, so I don't have to keep calling it Impact. I can go back to the glory days of them in Nashville at the Asylum, where you had midgets with guns and shit like that. And if you haven't seen original weekly pay-per-view Impact, oh my God, you're missing out. TNA, like old school TNA, like before they were doing weekly pay-per-views, was crazy. Like at one point, there was a midget.
I'm glad they're coming here.
Again, I would keep repeating it. Midget with a gun. It's. You think I'm joking? I'm dead serious. Anyways, backstage we got Trick confronting Ilja again. Wonderful. We have these segments feeling like they're where they're supposed to be. Ilja coming back and boom, immediately Trick's on him. And Trick's complaining, why would you take this match with Ridge? It's supposed to be me and you in 2 weeks. Why would you do this? I want to beat you. And he was like, I don't give a shit what you want. I'm the champion. You listen to me. You follow what I want. I'm like, I like that. It makes sense. Ilja's like, I don't care. It's not a title match. I just want to fight the dude.
Yeah.
Makes a whole lot of sense.
Yeah, really did.
And then we get Lexis King versus Percy Watson. Dion Lennox. No, you know what? No, I'm going to do this. I wasn't going to do this. Ashley, go ahead and talk to me about this match while I pull up some pictures here.
Oh no, we're gonna get a little lesson here with pictures too and visuals. No, I don't have a lot of notes on this one, but I feel like it was a good showcasing. I keep thinking, okay, this is gonna sound terrible, but being that I'm from Puerto Rico, there's some guys that do reggaeton and they're called Zion and Lennox. So when I see his name, Dion Lennox, it makes me think of Zion and Lennox. It doesn't help me at all. And I don't even listen to their music. It's just the point that I know their names and I just want to say that. And I keep looking at it. I'm like, it's not Zion, it's Dion. I can't do it. Okay. It's
Dion.
Terrible for me. Dion. See, I keep saying Zion in my mind because of it. I keep seeing that X in there, even though I shouldn't do it, but it is what it is. No, it was the only thing is like this was really kind of a little short match in itself. Is more about the story of like Lexis gets the win and then we get Bear Hill coming out trying to go after him. Obviously, Lexis avoids him as the heel that he is, and Bear comes in and he raises Dion's hand at the end. I like having that partnership there. It was like, I respect you because you're not Lexis, of course. And it's still, we're probably going to get Lexis with Bear heel probably after the breakout tournament's over anyway. But I feel like it was a good showcase for him. And like we said, it's just a matter of like Lexis is like, it's not happening anytime soon. You got to wait for it.
So here's Dion Lennox. Nice looking guy. You know. Here's Percy Watson. Dion Lennox.
How did you get even the pictures right in the middle too? Yeah. Morgan, thanks for the lesson.
They look alike. I'm just saying. Like, and ironically, it's literally just the glasses. Like, that's all it is. But it's this flashy, kind of flamboyant African American gentleman with glasses, and it's just, why can't you do something new? And the fact is, like, when the glasses come off, I get serious. It's like, what? No. Because that reminds me of fucking Festus when the bell rings all of a sudden.
That made me laugh because I like when he like goes into this entrance and he takes off the glasses like this. When he really looks like this. And it's like, I shouldn't be laughing when you're doing this, but it's just making me laugh at this point.
But here, Astrid, you can keep looking at his nice six-pack.
Hello.
You have a new favorite, Astrid?
No, not yet. Not yet.
I like this match. It wasn't it wasn't a great match. It wasn't anything spectacular. This match was shite. I didn't think it was that bad. I will agree. The coronation is a pretty shit finish. I don't like the double arm cross spinning neck breaker. It's not great. Tony D'Angelo does a much better version of this finisher. When he wrestles singles matches, which he doesn't do anymore, but when he does, it is a much better version of it. But I think Lexis is getting better in the ring. Like, I think they'll figure out that the finisher is shit and they'll change it. Like, I think they'll figure that out. Either that or he'll just keep a shit finish. I mean, Jinder Mahal still uses the Colossus. Trey Bearhill comes running out like a bat out of hell, trying to get at him with a steel chair. But of course, he had to wait for his music because he couldn't just come running out. He had to wait for his music to play.
Yeah, at least he didn't dance on the way out. Okay.
Yeah, I know. I have a little homage to that in my tweet, the "We're Going Live" tweet, where Jeff Hardy's music played and he's doing the run out and he's doing the arm things. Barrymore says, "I really think they've ruined this breakout tournament. The worst wrestlers winning matches. Hey, Obafemi won a match in this thing. It's fine."
I know, but Luca lost.
Yes, Luca lost, and we'll get to that in a little bit. I think people will be very surprised come New Year's Evil with who's in the finals of the tournament. Having known the answer already as to who's in the finals, I think it'll be fun for people to watch. We then get Eddie Thorpe talking about the year that it's been, the battles with Donovan Dijak. And he said the Dijak took him out of action. So he took away the Iron Survivor. I'm like, all right, that kind of makes sense. And he says that even the ropes can't contain him. I'm like, good job. I guess it was a spot. Because I remember last week we were worried about whether or not it was a spot or not.
I sent her the promo too, so she was happy about it.
It was a good promo from Eddie Thorpe. It really was. It was a really well done promo. He's coming into his own. Again, we still don't understand the connection to the dancing and the Native American and the DJ stuff, but they've done away a little bit with the DJ stuff, and they're focusing on the Native American heritage and that kind of vein and, you know, the warrior animal instinct. And I like that. And if that's all they're going to do, I'm fine with it. And he says that even the ropes can't contain us, so next week we'll just get rid of them too. NXT Underground. Ashley, what do you think of this?
Yeah, I feel like it was such a smart answer to everything. It was like, here is like, you took something from me, I took something from you. You wanted to take away the ropes, I took away the ropes. And I like how he has an answer to everything that Dijak has done to him. And once he said that, I was like, yes, I really like NXT Underground. Let's do this with him. So I think it was a good time for them to bring it up with both of them.
Yeah, I think it was fun. We'll get the Dijak version of this promo a little bit later on to go ahead and go back at it. But next we get Jacy, Jayne, and Thea Hale taking on Kiana, James, and Izzy. And Izzy, Izzy is not so fine, not so fine. She does not blow my mind. She's a little bit of a train wreck in there, isn't she?
I think the only thing I liked about her was at one point, I forgot what move she did. I think she did it on Thea, and it really showed up a lot of her power. And that's, I feel like, the best that I saw out of her during this match. But I did like the like her and Kiana doing their double team moves. I feel like they were really smooth together though, in that aspect of it. Thinking of like they haven't been teaming up for long, but they look like they had been based on what we saw in the ring and the chemistry they had. Um, but to me, the person that really stood out to me here was Thea. Thea was so smooth in the ring, not only tagging with Jacy, but in the ring in itself and in the match. And I feel like no matter what she did, it all made sense. And when the way she was setting it up, it all made sense. And I was like, wow, she has really grown a lot. And one thing I always liked about Thea from the beginning was that no matter what she was giving when it comes to her character as a whole, she would do it. It doesn't matter. I feel like I haven't seen any other girls do anything like her in that aspect of like she doesn't care. She's looks ridiculous and she looks like an idiot, but she still does it because she's entertaining us. And I feel like she has a lot more range in that aspect of a lot of the girls because she has done from like the comedic kind of thing to like turning a little bit, I don't want to say darker, but a little bit more serious now compared to what she was before. So I feel like she's grown a lot in that aspect as well. So to me that was she was my highlight of this match. And I really like the ending as well because here she has a submission on Kiana. Kiana taps and she's about to like she's already celebrating with the ref's telling her like no, Kiana's like the legal person. And then Izzy comes in, takes advantage, and they take the win at the end. But it was I feel like the ending was really like smartly done as well.
Yeah, the ending was really smartly done. I felt for Jayne in this match. I really did. Because I feel like Jacy got the short end of the stick because most of Jacy's match was in there with Izzy. And Izzy seems to be like 3 steps behind Jacy the entire time. Because I thought Jacy was doing a lot of interesting and good stuff in there. And it was just caught problematic by just Izzy not being in the right spot, not being in the right place. And it just, ironically, I think when we compare it to a match later on with Luca and Tavion Heights. Mm-hmm. The difference is Tavion, while not being a great wrestler yet, I think he's got room to improve. And I think Izzy's got plenty of room to improve. Like I said, she's one of my 5 women that I want to watch this year to see how she improves. Because I think she can get better. Like, she's not bad. She's just, she doesn't have the timing. And it was especially noticeable tonight with Jacy because Jacy was on her spots tonight doing fun stuff. And Izzy was just always out of spot. The one thing I will say with Tavion and Luca, Tavion was always in the right spot at the right time. Maybe he was a little bit slow in that spot to do that move, but it seemed like the 2 of them were always lockstep on the spot that they were doing. And for that, I really enjoyed it. But yeah, no, Thea Hale, as much hate as I give Thea Hale, and 90% of it is joking. The energy and the enthusiasm and all of that is such a wonderful part of her character and personality. And the ability that she has shown to change from somebody who was truly bad in the ring. Like, she wasn't just out of spots or out of place on spots. She was just downright not good earlier this year. She's come so far in her thing. She's entertaining. The fact that she was able to not only handle being in the match, but handle the side character work of continuously looking over at Riley and being smitten with this guy. By the way, who's just not that good looking. Let's be honest. Riley Osborne is just not that good looking. All he is an accent. He's a boring accent. That's all it is. Just don't get it. But as you said, the blind tag going ahead to get Jacy with Thea off kilter. Perfect way to finish this match. And it lets Izzy get the win, which is nice because Lord knows she needs some positive momentum. And I hope she gets it. Again, like I said, I think there's room for improvement. I see things I like in Izzy Dame. Things I would do with Izzy Dame. Change the color of her ring gear. Change the color of her hair. We don't need another bottle blonde on this roster. We have plenty of them. You know what we could honestly use? And it's not just because I'm obsessed with redheads. We don't have a redhead on this roster anymore that I can think of. We don't count Gigi. Her hair's orange. That's not redhead, just so we're clear.
No. Or Becky either, because it's like it's all orange at this point. It's just different shades of it, but nobody has like red hair like that.
I wouldn't mind going back to like an Eva Marie. Like, I think Izzy Dame would look really good in an Eva Marie style gimmick. The original Eva Marie, not the one with the famous announcer and her always having reasons why she can't wrestle. I mean, besides that she couldn't wrestle. But I just think I think she could do with an entire overhaul to the portion of her character. Like I said, I think it's weird that I think the blonde hair is holding her back, but it really is. Like, there's only so much you can do with so many blondes. We have Tiffany Stratton already. We don't really need another badass, I'm a bad girl, bottle blonde running around. We don't need that. We need something different. E word?
Eva.
Oh, Eva. I like for all the bad things you can say about Eva, and trust me, I could go on about them too. I did like me some All Right Everything.
No.
Anyways, we then move to a backstage segment right after the match, where Ariana Grace and a bunch of women, apparently including Stevie Turner, who I apparently totally missed, who's apparently now also a bottle blonde as opposed to being a brunette, which again, another reason why we changed Izzy Dame's hair, because we have too many of them. But Ariana Grace is talking about how nice it was for Izzy and Kiana to get the win and how good it is. And Roxanne comes walking in and she's like, I'm not finished with them yet, doing her best Braun Strowman impersonation. And Ariana's like, no, stop doing this. It's not about who wins and loses, this, that, and the other. And Roxanne's like, of course it's about who wins and loses. And she smacks her across the face and walks away. And Ariana's like, oh no, my face. And then the best part, am I still pretty? Oh my God, I love how she gets her character. And she's never out of it.
No.
Like, there are so many women who would have this character and not be able to pull it off. And I feel like she's like the Miz in a way. Like, she understands she has to be in character all the time for this not to be a complete disaster. She has to be Miss NXT, that pageant queen, the whole time she's potentially on a camera. Not even if the camera's on her, but just any time where a camera might be on her, she needs to be in character because she's killing it with that character, and I absolutely adore it. We have Barry Monkey saying NXT is really building the women well. The only issue is there isn't a great variety of styles they could do with bringing in a couple from the outside. I agree. Barry Monkey's hit that nail right on the head. They have a ton of great women who are getting better and better in the ring, but there's nothing different about any of them. I would love to see, and that's why I said on the Ring of Honor show, I'd love to see a Billy Starks, because I think she'd bring something different to this roster. I wouldn't mind seeing a Joshi girl or two who isn't Saray, because we tried Saray and that didn't work. But NXT has constantly been able to get over the Joshi girls. We got over Io Sky. We got over Kairi Sane. We got over Asuka. Like, we made Asuka a bigger deal than the main roster ever has in NXT. Like, NXT knows how to work with the Joshi girls. I feel like bringing in some of that Joshi talent, maybe an Emi Sakura. I mean,
I would say Julia.
I agree. WWE's big name is going after Julia. I would hate. The only thing is, I would hate to take Julia away from Mel and Andre being able to talk.
Sorry, Mel. Sorry, it's my time to watch her against this roster. I think that would be great to see. But that's what I mean. Like, that's why I miss like the shows like the Mae Young Classic, because it introduces us to so many girls from different backgrounds, and a lot of them already have experience in the ring. So it wasn't like they were learning from scratch either. And that's when somebody like a Billy Starks would have been like a part of that, for example, because she comes in, she already has that indie experience that a lot of these girls don't have, and her style will be like different from them too. So I definitely would I like to see that too. I'm sorry, Mel. If I could take somebody, I will take Julia. And you don't. There's no receipt. We cannot return her either. Okay, once she's here, she's done.
You know what though? if I'm gonna steal a female talent, as much as I love Julia and as good as she'd be here, I feel like she'd be too good for NXT and she needs to go straight to the top. You know who I'd take if I could take anybody for another promotion? If we're talking Joshi, give me Shida. I have a feeling Shida would do a lot of really good work in NXT. She's exactly the kind of talent that I've been saying that they need to get. She's a world-traveled veteran woman who doesn't need to be the very top of the roster. I have a feeling granted, she has to get there and she has to get there soon, but you could build 6 months of Shida, just helping the roster before putting her in a world championship program.
Yeah, and watching her AW, whenever she shows up, people love her. It's just a matter of like they're so inconsistent with her. She might be there one weekend, be gone for 3 months, and they come back again. Obviously, people are gonna like it because I feel like they don't see her often, based on their booking, and it's not her fault. Somebody in return. I don't know about that one.
You know what? Here we go. Mel, we will give you Eddie Thorpe. You give us Julia and Okada. There we go.
Damn,
you guys get Eddie Thorpe, we get Okada and Julia. That sounds like a fair trade.
Fair trade. Yeah.
Well, Mel ponders that over, and I have a feeling that the comment's going to come quicker than we expect. Mary asked that they demand Von Wagner. Jacy was playing dice with OTM in a street corner that looks awful lot like a room. No, we acquire equal or greater value woman. Here we go. I'll give you Becky Lynch and Eddie Thorpe for Okada and Julia. There we go. That's the trade. You can have Becky. You know what? I'll give you Becky and Seth. Becky and Seth can go to New Japan and Stardom, and we'll take Julia and we'll take Okada.
Excusez-moi! Why would you take my favorites?
Are you sure?
Thank you.
Give you Seth and Eddie Thorpe, will you take them away? Because I could really get away from that stupid fucking song.
No.
Anyways, Andre's playing dice with them, and he's apparently winning. I don't know how you win with dice because it's not. I don't think they're playing craps, which is the only dice game I know. Yeah, you can take Chelsea Green free of charge too. Becky Lynch and Chelsea Green with Seth and Eddie Thorpe. Man, this trade is getting more and more lopsided for NJPW and as it goes.
I look at it like a scale, and it just like at this point, it's like it's tipping.
No, it's still not tipped because Okada's. You could trade Okada for all of them and then some, and it still wouldn't be equal because Okada's that damn good. But my biggest problem with this whole segment, and honestly, I like the segment. Chase U, OTM, scripts, this whole Reggie thing. The 5 of them were perfect together. I loved the 5 of them. You want to know the one place this whole thing fell a fucking part?
I can tell you right now. 1, 2, 3. Anna.
Rizzo. Yeah, Anna or Rizzo, as I call her, because I don't remember what her character's first name is. I only remember that it's Rizzo.
I thought it was Anna. I don't remember.
But no, it's absolutely Anna because there's no reason for her to be there. There's no reason she needs to be there, but for some reason she is there, and she calls up Tony D'Angelo, and for some reason Tony D'Angelo agrees to this cockamamie match. So it's going to be Andre Chase putting up whatever money he won rolling dice against OTM. And if Andre wins, he gets double his money. If he loses, OTM gets all the money he won back, but they don't get the money he started gambling with. They leave him the $300 and some odd dollars. What is it?
It says Adriana Rizzo. So yeah.
Adriana. Okay, there we go. It still sucks.
Is that her real name is Anna? That's why I got it.
Yeah, Anna Kiefer. Yeah, no, this whole thing was great until they added in the Tony D'Angelo stuff. Because I think it would have been more fun to see Andre have to grovel to Tony to make that happen if they were to lose. I think that would have been funny.
I think my favorite part of this was seeing Andre with like the hair all messed up and the outfit all messed up too. You know, the stress of the place. So what just the visual at first of seeing him there, I was like, this is already made for me. I just love it, like the whole look he has because of how it's been. And I like how the guys go, this is not a car wash. This is not what was the other thing that they did? A bake sale too. I thought it was funny. Just like, here, throw shots at them too.
But the thing I liked here is I felt like OTM really, like, they gave us some personality from the two of them. Like, Lucien and Bronco were funny in this. And, it doesn't when Duke's trying to tell Andre what to do, and he looks at Duke and he's like, isn't he supposed to tell you what to do? Like, there was just some fun stuff back and forth. Like, this was a really good segment, and then got ruined by fucking Rizzo just being there. Like, I'm all for putting women in segments where they belong. She didn't belong here. She did not belong here whatsoever.
Mm.
So next week we'll get that double or nothing match. That's coming up. We then get Dragon Lee versus one of the members of the Wonka crew, as I'm going to start calling them. And it's chosen to be Charlie and the Chocolate Factory going ahead and taking on Dragon Lee. And Astrid, what did you call it?
No way.
They said they gave it a name in Spanish.
Oh, no, but that was for the graphic though. When they put the graphic for the championship.
Universal.
Desafío.
Whatever.
It's just like when they made when Dragon Lee accepts a challenge, they just made the graphic like they usually do when the championship's on the line. But instead of having it in English, I noticed it was in Spanish, and it said Desafío Universal, and I was like, I love it though. They changed it just for him too. Yeah, nice touch.
But I like Joe Coffey walking out here, and Joe Coffey's like, look, no bells rang. I'm just going to go ahead and add myself to this match. And it makes sense. It's an open challenge. Oh, God, Mark. You know what? Mark's going to love it. Because, you're sitting here giving that accent to the Gallus boys. We got twice the Gallus tonight. Mark is going to be so happy. A Christmas miracle for Mark Fox Wrestling.
But I love that you can hear him, though. I love that you can hear him during the entrance, though. And like, they start looking at each other and they go, I didn't hear a bell, though. And I'm like, oh, gosh. And like, they said it so loud, too. But no, it was just funny. I was like, no, I didn't want you in here, though. Can you ring the bell before he gets there, please?
And also, in response to taking Chelsea Green, Mel did say they can make Chelsea a star, actually. Well, you know what? Take her far away. Also, take Casey Squared with her while you go. It's okay.
Damn.
The new NXT WWE Raw Tag Team Women's, and whatever the fuck they're called now. Mm-hmm. Can we just give them to Isla Dawn and Alba Fire already, please? By the way, where the fuck are they? We haven't seen them since Halloween Havoc.
Can we get a receipt so we can return Alba and Isla to NXT, please?
Yeah,
I want them
back.
They're not doing anything right now.
We'll give the main roster Roxanne Perez, and we'll take back the Unholy Union.
Yeah, sounds good to me.
Barry Monkey saying Joe Gacy was the best part of this match. I like a nutter under the ring. Yeah. We'll get to that. I really like this match, though. I thought it was a whole lot of fun. There was a lot of great 3-person spots in this. They didn't do a ton of it. They weren't as consistent as some of these other triple threats that NXT's done. There was a lot of one-on-ones, which isn't bad because they do a big move and a guy would take a bit of a breather. But they would constantly have these 3-man spots rolling throughout the match. They had the Tower of Doom, really fun spot. They did a version of the Tower of Doom where Dragon Lee goes from. So Charlie tried to do a roll up onto Joe Coffey. But Joe Coffey's holding the ropes. So Joe Coffey's standing, and Charlie's behind him trying to roll him up. And then Dragon Lee jumps over the ropes, over both of them, to do a sunset flip. And neither one of them move. And then Joe Coffey reaches between his own legs, between Charlie's legs, grabs Dragon Lee by the shoulders, pulls him up, and then then Charlie does a suplex while Joe Coffey does almost like a brain buster. Just fantastic spot.
That's my favorite spot and during that whole match though. Just seeing that part, I was like, that was really nice to watch. And my not part of the match in itself, but like I like how when Coffee comes out and he says up, he's like, I didn't hear a bell like when even before the match starts. And he's like, they're looking at Dragon Lee. He's like, you're the champion, you decide. So he's like looking at both of them. And I was thinking, he's a face. He's gonna face both of them. He doesn't care. But I think just like the intrigue of like him going, which one am I going for? He goes, you and you both. Let's go. But it's something that we expected. Not only for me, it's like it's a North American Championship. It's gonna be a multi-man match. It almost feels like a tradition at this point. And then obviously Dragon Lee being a face is gonna be like, I will take the challenge of both of them. I don't care. So I just love to see that too from his character.
And like Barry Monkey says, Joe Gacy being a nutter under the ring. At one point, right towards the end of the match, Joe Coffey's on the outside and he puts his legs one step too far under the ring. And I knew that something bad was about to happen to him, and Joe Coffey just pulls him into the abyss underneath the ring. And yeah, Dragon Lee goes ahead and does Operation Dragon, which, while being a cool move and apparently a finisher, I don't know why this is his finisher because it's a shit move. Like, it's a cool move, but like it's not. It seems like It seems if we're talking in like a wrestling game, it seems more like a special than a finisher.
Yeah.
Like, dude does a running power bomb, and somehow this is his finishing move. And they need to give it a better name because Operation Dragon is not it.
No.
But he gets the win. After he gets the win, the Wonka crew starts coming in and attacking him. And who comes out to make the save? Joaquin Wilde and Raul Mendoza. Cruz del Toro. Why did I just randomly call him Raul Mendoza? He has been Mendoza for like a year and a half. Anyways, the LWO comes out to make the save. So you absolutely know that in the new year, we are absolutely getting the Garzas on SmackDown to work with Santos Escobar. Because they're now building the 3 versus the 3.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So Santos's thing is going to be, well, you can come to NXT and help your buddy. Well, I'm going to bring my NXT friends up to the main roster and take you out.
Yes.
We get Trick complaining to Carmelo Hayes about Ridge getting a match with Ilja. And Melo's like, man. And at one point, Trick goes, man, if Ridge wins this, he might make this a triple threat in 2 weeks. And then Carmelo's like, yeah, man, if somebody else hadn't thought about making it a triple threat. Hey, Heel Kevin, thank you for
who's here.
Appreciate it, jumping in. Greatly appreciate it. Hope you had a fun stream tonight. I know you've been doing a ton of fun stuff. I don't know if your charity stuff is going on, but make sure, if anybody who's here, if you haven't, go check out Heel Kevin. If he's still doing his charity stuff for Christmas, please go ahead and take a look at it. He's going ahead and getting games and gifts, and he's going to go ahead and bring it to some kids, and he's doing a fantastic job with it. He's getting all the stuff sent to his house. So please, if you can, go ahead and give Heel Kevin a follow. He is a fantastic friend of the channel. He is a great person doing even better things for the people. So make sure you go ahead and give him a check out. We really appreciate all of his friendship here at our local establishment. Barry Monkey saying Dragon Lee key piece ring. That would be a proper finisher. Yeah, that would work. I have a feeling it's something that I don't understand, but it sounds like an anime. Sounds better. Sounds better than Operation Dragon. But we got Trick complaining, and Melo's just like not feeling it and just being a total dick about the whole thing. I'm like, oh man, Melo. Like every time I think maybe something's happened, like he was talking earlier about the guy he's never been hit that hard. I'm like, well, Ridge can hit that hard. Maybe Ridge is going to be the one who attacked Trick and the one who attacked Melo. And Melo might actually be innocent and Victor might be right. And Victor put it out tonight again, another tweet, talking about how, oh, hold on. Let me go ahead and get the actual tweet. Because I have it right
oh, Victor, I like you, but you're wrong.
Yeah,
no,
Victor says, y'all ain't got proof that's concrete about Melo. Is he ambitious? Yes. Guilty? No. I said what I said. And he was responded to by the man himself. Himself, Carmelo Hayes. Reparations gonna go crazy. I can't wait. Melo, I love you, dude. I think you're probably one of the best wrestlers in the entire WWE right now. Homie, you did it. Just admit to it. You'll feel so much better when you get it off your chest, homie. Just go ahead and admit that you did it.
And the truth will set you free.
Astrid, I'm going to go ahead and take a drink here, but I want you to go ahead and talk about Cora Jade returning to the NXT locker room.
I think the funny thing about this segment though is that it's almost the same girls that were in the segment earlier. The difference is like Gigi is hanging out there just looking at her rose for no reason. Um, but one thing I do like, I like seeing the names, the nameplates on the lockers there because they all have their nameplates in a different font. And somebody made me notice that, which I forgot about. But I like seeing that. And Cora's like, "Well, I'm back. You know, that I'm here to save you, the women's division. I'm back here." And then she just looks at one of the lockers, like, "Well, I'm taking this one." And then she just takes up the name, which happens to be Carmen's name, and puts her stuff down. And then Carmen's like, "Why is my stuff on the floor?" And Gigi told her, "Well, the only way to actually get rid of Cora is, you know, how it is to go face her." So that's what we're getting the match next week between both of them.
Yeah. You know, it is what it is. It wasn't a great segment. It wasn't a bad segment. I just wish that there was more stuff that she could have thrown, of Carmen's, other than just like some stuff. Like she should have done something to it, thrown it in water, like done something silly to it, as opposed to just tossing it on the floor. And Carmen, how far away were you when all of this was happening that you could just wander over as soon as Cora's out of shot? Like, seriously? Mm-hmm. It's like you had your back turned on the other side of the room and you're waiting for somebody to give you the cue. Like, you know, it's things like that. It's just that irk me sometimes about professional wrestling as a whole. But this segment in and of itself, for some reason, it just really got to me. But I'm like, I just wish it would have been two different segments where Carmen comes back and then you see it. Or Cora did something more than just toss her stuff on the floor. It's like, it feels kind of like petty that Carmen's like, "Grr, how dare you?" Seems
it
like
happened too quickly. Yeah.
We then get a video promo for the Women's Championship title match at New Year's Evil between Blair Davenport and Lyra Valkyria. I like this. This was fun. It talked about how they both come from, you know, far away to come to Florida to NXT, how they both came from NXT UK, but neither actually wrestled each other in NXT UK. And I like how it's like Lyra Valkyria, she comes from Ireland, she went to NXT UK, and she's now in NXT. It's like Blair Davenport came from New Zealand, went to England, went to Japan, went back to England, and then went down to NXT. It's like, one of these women is vastly more experienced than the other.
Yeah.
It'll be a fun match. I have a feeling it'll be a fun match. I don't think it's going to be a clean finish. And I have a feeling one or two people are going to get involved in this match.
Nikkita and Tatum.
Okay, potentially three people. I was thinking Cora Jade. Cora Jade and Nikkita, I thought, were the two people who I thought were going to get involved. I mean, I guess Tatum will get there if she's done bleeding from Nikkita's ass on her face, but we'll talk about that in a little bit. Actually, we talk about it right. We talk about it in a little bit. Speaking of Nikkita and Lyra and Tatum, we get Nikkita backstage and talking about how she's, you know, she thought it was cute before with the whole Tatum Paxley thing, but now it's getting annoying because she put her hands on her. So now she's going to go ahead and take care of Tatum Paxley. And by the way, I came back for Blair, but I also came back for that. And then there was this weird, awkward silence as they both kind of looked at each other and looked at the championship. And the crowd, which was a couple seconds behind on the delay of the video being shown to the crowd, where the crowd goes, "Ooh, just way too late."
It was kind of low too. Sorry.
Yeah. You got Barry Monkey saying one of them can't hold down a wrestling job. Hold. No, Blair is so talented, she's gotten to be able to work in so many different locations. Whereas Lyra Valkyria is so less talented, not untalented, she's fine. She's less talented that she's not been desired worldwide to be in Stardom, to be. And granted, also, for those that everybody understands and thinks that Blair Davenport is born and bred in the UK. She was born in New Zealand and as a child moved to the UK. So that whole New Zealand to the UK thing is a bit of an over-exaggeration. I think she moved there before she started her wrestling training. We get metaphor with a festive cup as they have a Christmas hat with a bell on it inside the cup. And long story short, he goes ahead and says that Briggs is going to get a Christmas miracle and be able to have a Heritage Cup match. So that's fun. We get a Heritage Cup match next week.
I think my favorite part, though, my favorite line, to put it like that, not part, line, is when he said he's a man of charity, hence why Josh is getting the match for the Heritage Cup. But other than that,
Yes, which is when I think of Noam Dar, the first thing I think of is charity. And I don't think of Kissing My Hand in Joe Hendry. And if you haven't seen the entrance video that Joe Hendry played for Noam Dar, go look up Joe Hendry entrance Noam Dar. It's something funny. Anyways, now we get Tatum versus Nikkita. And of course, if we have Nikkita in a wrestling match, we have to have yes, the lion roars again. I'm having way too much fun making graphics. There was nothing much to this match. The match went back and forth a bit. Nikkita got ahead and got the win. She kicked her head off, and then she did a spinning version of her split slam, split pin, where she definitely had her bum hit Tatum in the face because after the match, Tatum's bleeding from the mouth. I mean, yeah, it was a match. It happened. It wasn't.
it happened.
It wasn't.
I think the part that really stands out is that before the match starts and Tatum's doing her entrance, she has a little feather and she sticks it by the turnbuckle, but she kisses it before she puts it there. And when the match is over, you do see her with the blood in her face, but she's still in the corner, like looking at the feather and getting like really close with it too.
No. I mean, it was a poor match. The match didn't flow well.
Mhm.
And I don't know if that's. I'll be honest. I blame a little bit on Nikkita, and I blame a little bit of that on Tatum. I think it's the both of them. We got to give Nikkita a little bit of a benefit of the doubt. She is coming back. Only had a few matches since coming back from her almost year off. So the Nikkita Lyons, who already wasn't the greatest in-ring talent, has had a year off and is coming back from an injury to a very important part of the body with that knee and that leg. So there's a lot of work to be done there. She's got a lot of ground to make up. I have a gimmick where, Nikkita is one of the greatest things in the world. And she's nice to look at. But at the same time, like, I got to be honest here. And, the in-ring work has to improve. Like, she has to get better. If she's going to hang with this division now, she's got to get better because she missed an entire year or this division had a year to get better than her. And she's gone from one of the girls who I thought her and Sol Ruka were towards the top of the division before they both got hurt. And now I think when they both come back, they're going to be in the middle of the pack towards the bottom. And they've got to have a lot of work to do to get back to that top of the pack. And Blasphemous said Tatum Paxley looks improved. I agree. I don't think Tatum's not bad. I think Tatum's getting better and better. But again, it's going to take more in-ring reps. This twosome did not have much chemistry. Going back to what Barry said, that they didn't flow well. Yeah, the match didn't have chemistry. It was made to be a showcase match for Nikkita while getting over a storyline for Tatum. And those two things never work out well for everybody because it's always one or the other get shafted. And I think that this match suffered because they were doing a bit for each of them, and it didn't work out the way it was supposed to. Any lingering thoughts on Nikkita versus Tatum?
It was a match and it happened. No, I think it more than anything, like Tatum really stands out in the match. Even like Barry said, it didn't flow well. I wasn't a fan of it really. It's just a matter of like Nikkita kind of get her feels back and getting used to getting back in the ring, especially when we had her in a tag team match last week. So she wasn't in the ring much compared to like being in the match when she's here by one-on-one. But based on what's happening, we're gonna keep seeing her. So hopefully it'll give her that time to really get adjusted to this again.
2 women's matches, about 4 women's segments on the show tonight. Good job by NXT to get the women over. The one thing I'll say is that I really wish, and I don't know if they're going to have something next week. Like I said, I've seen the spoilers. I know what they're doing, and I know there's no in-ring stuff. I really hope they do something, a better job video package-wise next week for the NXT Women's Championship match because it feels kind of lackadaisical. And I don't know how you could ever believe that Blair's going to win this match without any real build to it. Like, they did a really good job last week of building to it. And this week it's a video package. And according to the spoilers that I've read, there's nothing there next week. So that's kind of a downer. And I feel like based on the way that the story they're telling, this is going to open the show next week, 2 weeks from now. I feel like this is going to be I think this women's championship match might be, when they have both title matches, typically one of the main events and one of them opens the show. And honestly, if you're looking at the two storylines, which would you rather have main event the show? Based solely on storyline. Like, Trick versus Ilja is light years ahead right now from a storyline perspective of what should be main eventing that show. Hopefully the women get a big spot. Hopefully the women do well. But this match, while it will be good, feels a bit lackluster. And I think that NXT should have done all of these matches at Vengeance Day as opposed to front-loading a quick turnaround from Deadline to New Year's Evil. Especially when you have tape shows. I feel like you could have taken a lot of the stuff from these shows and done some storytelling stuff over the next 2 weeks with the girls and with Trick and with them, and then had a bunch of these bigger matches that we're seeing next week on New Year's Evil and build to these title matches later on. Like, I think it would have been fun, instead of Cora Jade next week taking on Carmen Petrovic, I think it would have been fun to see Nikkita and Cora and have Blair and, Lyra out there kind of, checking over the land and getting an idea as to what's going on. Or, just like other things, and having, New Year's Evil be the big matches, having the Heritage Cup match at New Year's Evil, having this Tatum the Tiffany versus Fallon match that's perfectly placed for New Year's Evil, going ahead and having the NXT Heritage, the NXT Underground match main event that show. I think that would have been a bunch of fun, as opposed to doing what you're doing next week, which is a big show ahead of a named show where you have two title matches that feel kind of blasé because you're doing 2 taped weeks in a row. Maybe that's just me because I've seen the spoilers, so I know what's happening, and I feel like they're blasé. But I feel like there's better things they could have done.
Yeah.
Speaking of better things to do, we got Hank Tank psyching themselves up backstage. We get Fallon Henley all cleaned up. She's no longer full of trash, and she's got new clothes on. And Briggs and Jensen are consoling her, and she's all mad and pissed off and angry at Tiffany, saying that Tiffany's never worked a day in her life. Well, no. Her gimmick was Daddy's Little Rich Girl. Why would you think Daddy's Little Rich Girl has ever worked a day in her life, Fallon? Like, come on. Get your head out of your ass. Like, come on, Fallon. What? Am I wrong?
Tell me I'm wrong.
Tell me I'm wrong. And then once Fallon walks away, all geared up about taking on Tiffany, Josh Briggs and Jensen have a heart-to-heart about the Heritage Cup, where Jensen's like, you know what? Me and Fallon will be there ringside next week for you. And he's like, that's great. But no, y'all aren't going to be there at ringside. I need to do this by myself.
Awkward. Yeah. I like how he's like, well, Metaphor is going to be there. They're going to know him his bag. So Fallon and I, we're going to have your bag. He's like, what about that? Oh, jeez.
Very monkey. I like how they don't include wrestling as a job. Yeah. Mind you, also, Tiffany Stratton versus Fallon Henley. Tiffany Stratton is a world-class gymnast. So while Fallon Henley was working in character, Tiffany Stratton was spending all of her time in the gym, becoming a world-class gymnast.
Next.
Gallus Boys on top as Gallus Boys beat up Hank Tank. I hate this match for a variety of reasons. Many reasons.
Hank and Tank being the first one.
Hank and Tank being the first reason, absolutely. But the real part about why I really dislike this match is Hang Tank have been in a bunch of tag team matches, right? They understand how tag team matches work. We've seen them understand how to fucking function as a goddamn tag team. Why all of a sudden are they fucking noobs who have no idea how they have to work a tag team match? My God, this was stupid. Sorry, I apologize. Anyway. Woosah. Woosah. Yeah, no, I have no clue why on God's green earth, all of a sudden, Hank Tank don't know that they have to hold the tag rope and bullshit. Like, why is that the story of this match? Like, the story was, we're a tag team, we're getting better. We want to prove ourselves against the best. That story made sense. And then all of a sudden, Hank Tank became jabronis who have having their first ever tag team match coming out of wrestling school. Like, I don't get it. Explain. Make it make sense to me, Astrid. As we said at the end of the Ring of Honor show, make it make sense.
I will tell you what my sister says. My younger sister goes, it doesn't make sense. It makes 20 cents. That's what I can tell you, because it makes no sense.
Thank you, Alana. You've been no help.
It
was that Ariana?
Yeah.
Ariana? Okay.
It makes 20 cents.
I had a 2-for-2 chance, and I 50-50 shot. I picked the wrong one. Whoopsies. Hello, Ariana. Hello, Alana. Hope you're having a good night. Hopefully you're in bed by now. Yeah, it was a fine match, but like that just boggled my fucking mind. Like I just didn't understand. Like, but I'm not wrong, right? Like, tell me I'm wrong. Like, tell me this wasn't stupid as all fuck.
It was dumb. Okay.
I don't know what a pensioner is in gymnastics. Maybe you. Oh, okay, you apparently do.
No, it just sounds funny.
Oh, okay.
Let me see.
Hopefully, it's nothing too dirty. But in gymnastic terms, Tiffany would be a pensioner. Ashton's going to look it up and tell me if whether or not I shouldn't have. Should I put that comment on the screen or no?
I don't know. Let's see.
Okay. What does it mean?
No, that's not it. It keeps changing it to prisoner.
Oh, okay. Well, while you look that up, Dijak talked about all the damage he's done to Eddie and everything he's done. And he's like, why would you put me in a match where I have no rules, Eddie? Like, I've beat you up and I've destroyed your ribs in all these matches. Like, the ring fell apart and I used it to beat the ever-living piss out of you. Why would you challenge me to a match where I have no rules and can do whatever I want? And I'm like, that's a really good point, Dijak. Why would Eddie Thorpe do this? That seems kind of dumb on Eddie Thorpe's part. I know Mel's not going to be happy that I'm calling Eddie Thorpe dumb, but no, I like the fact that they're making this match make sense from both sides. Eddie Thorpe knows this is a match that he can enjoy and he can try to do well in because he's been in it already. And for Dijak, it's like, sure, you want to take away the ropes and just give me the ability to beat the ever-living piss out of you? Okay, fine. I'll do that. What do you think, Astrid? You're muted.
No, I know. I didn't want you to hear my clicking. I know it bothers you. No, I like how he responded to him, and it made a lot of sense too. I like the back and forth between both of them tonight, especially. And it all made so much sense on like Hank and Tank. See, I like this. It made although the ends where when we're really tight and everything was close the way it should be. So I'm very glad it happened the way it did. And no, it keeps changing it to prisoner. And then when I put pension, it just says somebody with a pension, which is not it.
Oh, okay. So maybe that's what it is. Maybe the fact that she's retired from gymnast, so she's getting a pension. I don't know. Whatever. It's fine. And then we get the main event. This is a fun match. I mean, the end of the match aside, this is a fun match. I thought Ridge Holland looked really good in this match. I thought Ilja Draugnov looked as Ilja Draugnov is supposed to look in this match. And then we have the scary spot where we have Ilja hits an H-bomb and the crowd chants one more time. So he tries to get up to go ahead and do it again and do something to Ridge. And Ridge goes ahead and picks him up and He's going to do a regular brain buster to him, but Ilja fights out of it. And so he has him in a weird bear hug. And then the two of them fight, and Ilja uses a headbutt on him a couple times. And Ridge gets his head underneath his arm, and he's going to do a weird fallback, kind of like suplex thing. And he has Ilja's head trapped between his arm and his back, and he goes straight to the mat. And Ilja has a neck issue, and he stops moving for the most part. He's muttering sounds of discomfort. It didn't sound like the sounds of discomfort that you'd make if your neck had been broken. It was made to look legit enough, but not so legit that you worry too much for Ilja. Mm-hmm. If I'd seen this live, I'd have been a lot more worried than I am now. Because I feel like we would have heard something if this were a real injury to Ilja Draugnov. We would have heard something from NXT over the last couple of days since the tapings happened. I think not saying anything, they're making it quite known that it's a special thing for the promotion, for the story. It's a storyline element. It's not real. But what I want to focus on here, and more so than the injury, is the camera did a very good job of keeping an eye on Ridge the whole time. And Ridge being worried, and Ridge being concerned. And Ridge playing the character that he talked about earlier. How it's always one step forward, 10 steps back. How it's always incident and injury and incident. How it always follows him. And as he's sitting in the corner, the ref's trying to console him. Because he's not trying to attack Ilja like some people would if he hurt somebody. He's genuinely concerned and checking on Ilja and seeing that Ilja is okay. And the refs are keeping him at bay, which they should because they don't know what's going on. All of it makes sense. And the ref's talking to him, and he says, "Why does it always happen to me?" And it kind of gives you that feel-bad moment for Ridge. Mm-hmm. Like, it makes him a little bit sympathetic in that moment. Now, granted, it doesn't last very long because the crowd can't hear that, and the crowd starts shitting on him immediately, and they start booing him and yelling at him, which they should because he's obviously going to be playing the bad guy. But I like the sympathy that you're getting out of him being like, I wasn't trying to use, I wasn't trying to hurt Ilja. But the question remains, is Ilja going to be ready in 2 weeks to take on Trick Williams?
It's just another thing that I kept thinking about through this whole segment, and I even told it to you, the silence from the crowd as after they realized it happened. It reminded me so much when I was there for Tegan's injury and how quiet everybody was, and anybody trying to make some noise, everybody went, shh, we want to check and see what's happening to her. And it's that moment of silence. It just reminded me so much of being there. And I can imagine for the people that don't know that this was an angle, like seeing this at first and being like, how do I react when I see something like this? And just, and on one end, the cell from Draugnov was incredible. But at the same time, like just watching the cell made me so uncomfortable too. And like you said, thinking back of Rich and like the way that it went from like the crowd being quiet to the crowd turning on him already because they don't know if this is real or not based on the story that's going on. I can't begin to imagine the people watching it at first and then seeing later that it's a storyline. It's like, okay, at least he's good. You know, that's what matters because a lot of people were already saying wishes of Draugnov about the injury until they realized it was an angle. But yeah, just like I also don't like the timing of it because it almost looks like a serious injury. And then obviously like 2 weeks later, it's like, oh, I'm okay. I can go against Trick like nothing happened. And just like I don't like the timing of it, particularly there. And like I mentioned earlier, I'm not a fan of this being involved with Rich of all people. I most than anything concerning towards him then because I don't want him to get that hate again.
I think the one thing we've learned from NXT that we can give them the benefit of the doubt for the one thing. They typically work with their talent to make sure that the stories they're telling on television are stories that the talent seem to be comfortable with. You know, they made sure that they talked to Roxanne Perez before doing the anxiety angle where she replicated Shawn Michaels, you know, and everything that happened with that. NXT for a long time now, with part of Triple H's thing, we used to talk about it all the time on NXT when we did the Tea show, Tea Party show, was that authenticity, that it felt authentic that some of these characters feel the way they feel. At the time, we were talking about Swerve Scott and Hit Row. They felt authentic. They felt like this is the type of characters that these guys want to portray. This is the kind of thing they want to do. It's not stereotypical black rappers going ahead and having a gimmick. It felt real, and it felt like they were part of the story. When you had the beginning stages of Legado del Fantasma, it felt authentic. These guys felt like they were being brought in to help with the storyline. They weren't just a group of gangsters. While Santos Escobar's name is literally just made to be a gangster name, the whole group wasn't about being gangsters. There was an authenticity about the familial connections between a group of Spanish friends, Mexican friends, however you want to determine it. There's this group of Latin friends, and you as you're nodding with me, you know the familial connections that it is, La Madrina, and things like that. Like, it just felt real. You can even say with Eddie Thorpe. Eddie Thorpe's character feels natural and real. It feels like he's part of the storytelling, and they know what they're doing, and they're not taking a Native American character and making it shit. They're taking it, and they're taking the pieces of it that Eddie Thorpe wants to take. And they're taking the Bruja, and they're taking all of the warrior spirit and all these elements out of it to make him a better character, to make him a more enriched and natural character. And now we're seeing it, it's been a while, but we're seeing the bearing of the fruit with this feud with Dijak, how it's coming together, and it's making him feel like a more well-rounded talent. And so now we have Ridge Holland, who talked about in the promo, which would have been something he would have either gotten from the NXT people and would have been either okay with or not okay with, because he said it. And Ridge Holland doesn't feel like the kind of guy who's on his last legs, how he has to do whatever it takes to get over. Like, it feels like he could just do what he needs to do. So if he's doing this and he's choosing this to be the way that they're portraying him, I feel like he's a part of that. And to do this in-ring segment with Ilja here feels like it's something that he would want to do. It feels like something he's being a part of. And the way he portrayed his character after the spot happened makes me think that he's all in on this because of the way he portrayed it and how well he did. Making it feel real and making you feel real sympathy for him for hurting a friend of his. It's that authenticity that makes NXT great. And it's also why I love when NXT goes so unauthentic with a lot of characters. When you have OTM, when you have Chase University, when you have R-Truth. Like, some of these characters that are nuttier and dumber and just like larger than life. These are great things because it's such a great contrast to the authenticity that a lot of some of these characters have. It's a nice give and take. Mm-hmm. So while, yes, I agree, it's a bad decision to do this with Ridge of all people to Ilja Draugnov, I have a feeling that Ilja and Ridge are all in on this. They're part of the decision-making process. Sean seems to be more willing to work with the talent and make it something that they're comfortable with. So hopefully that's what's going on. Hopefully Ridge is going to be okay. And hopefully fans are smarter than they are stupid, which is asking a lot for the IWC, but, we'll hope. And hopefully everything will be okay. Speaking of things that are okay, Astrid, tell the good people where we can find you.
You can find me mostly on Twitter and Blue Sky as astridpizarro, Instagram and Threads astridpizarro20. Everything else will be on my YouTube channel. Thankfully, I ended up with 150 subscribers, which is my goal for the year, but we'll have bigger goals for next year, so we'll see how that goes.
Help her get started on next year's goal by going ahead and subscribing today. It's fantastic. All the fun stuff. Astrid Ask will be back in the new year. Now that our holiday schedule is almost over, we'll be able to go ahead and do more interviews. We've got all kinds of fun stuff coming up with Talking Takeover. All kinds of fun stuff coming up. So make sure you go ahead and check that out with Astrid. You can, of course, follow me at edfries12584 on Twitter. You can also find me on Twitch at edfries2002. As we go ahead and we get to the holiday season, I'll probably be doing a little bit more gaming content over the next, if I have some time off in the next couple of weeks. Also, we've got a whole lot of Marvel talk coming up, so get ready to see this lovely face with my friend Andre C. as we talk all things Marvel talk. We just did the MCU rebound for Iron Man 2008 over the weekend on Sunday night, so you can go ahead and check that out on the YouTube channel. But you can also go ahead and see the recaps. We're going to have short-form recaps for every episode of What If starting on Friday of this week. So we're going to go ahead and have a lot of fun with that as me, Andre, or both me and Andre will be going ahead and reviewing every episode of the 9 episodes that are dropping daily on Disney Plus for What If Season 2 for the holiday season. As well, you can go ahead and get ready to catch our next episode of the MCU Rebound, which will be taking place in the new year, as we go ahead and take on the 2008 terrible film from the MCU, which is The Incredible Hulk. Oh, boy. But in terms of some good stuff, I've talked to some wonderful friends of mine, and coming up in the new year, you are going to have me. You're going to have the wonderful Mel Ball Collins. You're going to have the man, the myth, the legend, Bobby Munson himself. And you're going to go ahead and have Mike the Ref, a good friend of ours who's always in our comment section. We're going to be doing our year-end wrestling review where 4 people tackle 4 different types of wrestling shows. And we're going to talk about the best things of the year on those shows. Mel will be covering New Japan and Stardom. Mike the Ref will be tackling our AEW side. And this year, we didn't have anybody who watched Impact all year. So this year, there will be no Impact. Sorry, Barry Monkey. I apologize. But we have Bobby Munson going ahead and covering all things MLW this year. So we're going to bring in MLW to the fold this year. And, of course, I'll be talking all things WWE and NXT. So definitely go ahead and check that out. We have a tentative date set right now. But we're working out, making sure that everybody's schedule works with it. So once we have a definitive date, we're going to go ahead and let you all know. It may be pre-recorded. It may be live. We'll see how it goes. But until next time, I am going to go ahead and head on out of here. So I'll see you next time. We'll see you. But sorry, before we head on out of here, we're going to go ahead and play the weekly calendar. And then I'm going to hit the outro. And then we'll see you all next week. Goodbye. You've got me.